Hello everyone and welcome back to Jacqs and thanks for joining me for the sixth and final part of the Wedding Memory Planner mini-series. This has been a design team project for Country Craft Creations using their Here Comes the Bride collection, and I'll have all the links for you in the description box below. So here we are. This is my final design, the Wedding Memory Planner, and I absolutely love how this turned out. It was lots of fun to create the different components to go inside of it, as well as to use that beautiful paper collection. So the final size of the planner is 10 by 12, and it is a 2-inch planner. I used binder rings to bind this because of it being so large. And actually, I talk about other ways that you can create the wedding memory planner in the walkthrough tutorial that's coming up after this portion of the video. On the front, what I have done is layered the pattern paper onto some black artisan cardstock, as well as some shimmer cardstock. And then I've added some flourish corners here that have some foiling effect on them, and they are layered on black artisan cardstock as well. And as the centerpiece, I just had this idea of using a bride and groom silhouette. So I found one on Cricut Design Space, and I cut that out with the black artisan cardstock, and I absolutely love this. I did also try it with black glitter paper, and quite frankly, I just love the matte look that the artisan cardstock provided. So I just love it. It really makes the background pop up, and just gorgeousness. Now, instead of using dangles for the sides with my binder rings, I came up with this idea to create like this little covering using lace, and I just sewed across where the binder rings then slip into these little tunnels within the lace. What this does is cover the binder rings to give them some really pretty look, right? And it also helps keep your binder rings in their position and sturdy. So I know some people don't like to use binder rings because they think it flops around, and this is just another way to help keep them sturdy and in place. And if you're worried about how this lace will move around when you open the cover, well, let me show you. It just moves right along with it, as you can see here in the background. It works perfectly. Since we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at the inside of the Wedding Memory Planner. On the front inside cover, we have a nice side pocket that is large enough to put a good amount of paper in there. What I have placed in there is the wedding timeline checklist. This is a very thorough checklist that I found from Russell and Hazel, and I'll have them linked down below for you. What I did on the front of this pocket was to create 3 more pockets so that you can keep some items that you might have, like business cards will go in here, or you could put your card in case you have one in there. You can put credit cards or money will just slip right into those little pockets. A very nice handy spot. On the right side, I thought it would be great to start off the wedding planner with a picture of the bride and groom to be, and so you could put those images here. I put these white mats on with removable tape, so you could just take these off and then put your photos there. They fit a 4x6. It would be great for those photos that you take when you make a wedding announcement, or if you have one that is your favorite, you can add here. Our next page is for emergencies. I love this page. I came up with the idea that if you were at a wedding shower, that you could have your participants write some notes of encouragement and then place them inside of these envelopes. And when planning gets hard, open one of these, and then inside you'll be able to pull out a little note. I love this. So these 4 top envelopes are for people in your life, And this one at the bottom with the foiling and bow is for your partner, and they can add their message in here for you right before you get married. And I just love that idea. It says, "Open me on our wedding day, and when planning gets hard, open one." Now we're going to get into our dividers and our pages. So the first category is budget. For the wedding memory planner, I created these divider labels, is what I call them. And this is all part of an SVG cut file template bundle. And I have that link down below for my Ko-fi shop. And that will be available for free for a limited time through the end of this week. So let's go into the budget section, and our pages for that section is a budget worksheet. Again, this is from the same Russell and Hazel printable that I found online. I just love how thorough they were in their planner printable. And then on the left-hand side, we have two pockets here with a magnetic closure so that you can add your receipts in here. You could put checks or your checkbooks, whatever you need to go along with your budget. I added these gorgeous little sticker florals here and some die cuts to just decorate a little bit. Guest is our next section, and in here what we have on the left hand side is a long side pocket. When planning a wedding, there are always many documents that go along with keeping everything organized, so this will be a great place to put items related to your guest. I also added a little tuck spot here where you could add another photo on the front and back if you like, just to keep some memories. On the right hand side, I created these side dividers, and here on this first one is for the guest, and you can add a photo here. You can even add a photo to the back if you like. And then this is the guest list tracker from the printable that I selected. I only put 2 pages in here just to show as an example. Here is our next one, is for transportation, and it has a transportation worksheet. Our last small divider is for travel related to guests, and there is a travel and accommodations worksheet for this as well. Ceremony is our next category, and this was a fun one. I created this gorgeous French memo board style page, and what you can do is when you're planning and you found something you like for decorations, you can take that and just tuck it in here. You can kind of lay out the elements that you're looking into or that you've already selected. You could put business cards in here, just all kinds of things. You could add photos to this. Just a great way to capture memories. We also create this great little place to keep the final invitation for the wedding. So in this area, you would place your final invitation, and then you would have that in your planner for memory keeping. On the back side, you can place your detail card up here at the top, and down at the bottom, there is a place for an RSVP card to put here. I love the idea of keeping one copy of all of the invitation materials here within the planner. And then in this section, I have the invitation worksheet, your stationery order. We have the ceremony worksheet, how the processional is, and so on. Next is our wedding party. So in this section, I wanted to create an area to document all of the items that you might need to keep track of the individuals in your wedding party. So for here, I created a long pocket piece, and it holds 6 tags. We have 1 for the bride, maid of honor, 3 bridesmaids, and the flower girl. And of course, you could make more of these depending on the size of your wedding. Now these little tags come out so you can add a photo or an image of the outfit that that individual is going to wear, and then you can actually write notes on the back side of it. I've even provided little labels. You can put their name on it, and it's a great way and actually a fun way to document as well as to keep that information organized. I also included for my printable the bridal salon appointment, the fashion worksheet, the beauty worksheet in case you had outside individuals performing those tasks. Here I created this long, gorgeous belly band. This removes so you could put in your own image or put one on the back side like an Instax photo. And under here, I added the day of wedding ceremony checklist and an emergency kit checklist. Now I just put these in there to show you that it would hold documents, but these also can go onto the binder rings. On the back side of this page, we have the same design for the groom, the best man, and the 3 groomsmen and the ring bearer. Again, I just love this idea of capturing their outfits or a picture of them on the front, and then their information or measurements on the back, whatever you might need. And here we have our groom and groomsmen fashion worksheet. Now we're going to the reception. Here I created a fun interactive element, and this is a great way to document what table people are sitting at when you go to start planning out how the tables are going to be arranged. You flip up this first portion of the cake, and underneath we have this dry erase vinyl to write notes on, and it even erases, which is great so that you can reuse it. You can also use it for brainstorming. And then here, as I mentioned, I have tables listed down below. For the pages, I added rental worksheets, floor plans, just to provide an example of some of the items you could put in this category. Now let's move on to vendors. Here I created an interactive element where you can remove the top image. And if you didn't want to use this image, you could certainly put a photo of yourself or your family on the front. These gatefold doors open, and inside we have long tags where you could add photos to the back side here on each side. And then at the top on each side, you also have areas to add photos. These pockets on the side will also hold documents. There's plenty of room to put more. These are dimensional pockets. And then in the center here, we also have a big pocket here at the bottom. And then I've created a belly band across the top so that if you wanted to kind of organize your documents you're putting into this pocket, you can layer them. So you can have some here on the front and then some behind the belly band, and it just gives it a nice division. Again, I added this cute little sticker, it says best day ever, and love here at the top. Just a little pop of color. And this is held on by 2 magnets. My pages have the menu worksheet, the wedding cake worksheet, photo shot list, music, flowers, to name a few. For the honeymoon, this was a fun one. We created another interactive element here for presents. I thought it would be fun to think about going on your honeymoon and getting a present while you're there. You can use these to preload them with gift cards or credit cards. Or you could even use this to add photos too. These 2 small presents are magnetic, and they just fit right on there. And this larger present, you can remove the top lid, have a nice area for a photo here and here on the back. And then these doors are gatefold and they open up. And you can add a photo here on the sides as well as here in the center. I just added these adorable little stickers. It says just married and let's celebrate champagne with some glasses. This design was really fun, and I just love how this could be created in a smaller design and used in other projects. Here I just added the honeymoon travel detail worksheet. And then we have an other section. Now you can label this yourself. It's a great place to keep calendars, a great place for registry information, and that's what I've placed here. On this side, we created some stacked pockets, a great place to put some more documents or even to add photos to the backs of these images. And then I just added this adorable little sticker here of the banner that says our wedding across the top there. Now, the next fun element isn't this piece back here. It is a magazine holder that we created for the planner. So here is a magazine for an example. I don't have a wedding magazine, but I did want to show you how this works. You open up your magazine to the center. You just slip it right into this little slotted magazine holder, and it holds your magazine. How wonderful is that? I absolutely love this. This was a Michelle Allen design, and there is an SVG file for this as well included in the cut file bundle. On the back inside cover, I've created a large dimensional pocket. What you can do here is add a notebook to the back cover, so that when you are planning, you have a nice, easy place to go to jot down those notes and get your thoughts organized. I just love how this planner has everything in one place. But for the interactive element that I created was this adorable little file folder. You swing this little tab out, and this opens up. You have two areas where you can add photos. You could write your vows in private and keep them here. Just a really fun little area to keep some mementos. And then, of course, I had to include the adorable little marriage certificate here. Just so cute. I love the size of that. And then here is the back side of our wedding memory planner. I just used patterned paper, added one of the ephemera pieces here at the bottom. So gorgeous. So that is the wedding memory planner. I hope that you all enjoy this as much as I have. And I wanted to give one more shout out to Michelle Allen, a creative operation. It has been so fun to collaborate with her and be inspired by her. I'll have her information linked down below as well. I do, as I mentioned, have that walkthrough tutorial after this portion of the video, and I thank you for joining me this far. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this. Thanks a lot, everyone. Now let's move on to the tutorial. Okay, so we are back and we have all of our components completed. I have gone through and printed out all of my planner sheets that I want to include for right now. And oh my goodness, it is so thick. This is almost 2 inches thick. I am so sorry that it is that large. But you know what? As I was creating this project, I would take each section and I would put it in its own little baggie, and I would store them that way. And so as I worked on them, I really didn't see how big everything was getting. So I do apologize for how thick this has become. But I wanted to share with you a couple ways that you can use this if you haven't started to create this project yet. So one of the first things you could do is straight up make a wedding planner and leave out all of the memory keeping aspects that I've added to this particular planner. Instead of having these fabulous elements on the back of our dividers, you would just put some patterned paper here, maybe make a pocket at the bottom or on the side, and just keep it nice and flat without a lot of interaction. Another way would be to take what I did share with you on how to create all of these interactive elements and put all of those in one little binder, let's say, or notebook, and then have the planner portion in a separate notebook. That would give you more flexibility in using binder rings, disc rings, just all the other kinds of ways that we can bind these together, such as cinch. Another way to use this is to not create the covers and take a binder that you might have in your stash, punch the holes if it fits into your binder, and use a binder to house all of this. So there are just a few options on how you can use this. Now I plan on using 4 of these big binder rings, and these are 2 inches wide. Well, they're 2/4 if you go on the outside of the binder ring. But I'm going to put them at 1, 4, 8, and 11. And that way it hits the cover, it hits the smaller pages, as well as the individual pages from our planner portion. To do that, I'm going to use my We Are Memory Keepers or We Are Makers big mouth and punch my holes that way. And as I was going through here checking to make sure that the holes wouldn't run into anything important, I did find that there were a couple pages that you might want to be cognizant of placement. The ones that I was worried about the most was this section. When we go to punch the holes, let me get my template. So what I did was just take like a 2-inch by 12 sheet of cardstock. I punched my holes at the locations that I said to you, 1, 4, 8, and 11. And then I kind of lined it up here. Now this is larger than my page, so I'm putting about 1/4 of an inch on each end just to gauge where this will land. And when I do, it lands right here. So you see it is right at the end of our tags. So you may want to cut the tags down, maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch shorter, just so that there is plenty of room for the hole and the tag to go in there and that you can get into it easily. So I may be doing that later when I go to punch all of my holes. Let's see, there was another one. The cake one was actually okay. The honeymoon section was another one to worry about. When you go to place your present on the right-hand side here, you don't want to make it too close to the edge. And I may have mentioned that in the tutorial. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Now this will work, but if I look at the top here, it's really close. So I just wanted to kind of mention that to be careful about where the placement of things are on the right-hand side. This was another one that I was concerned with because of our side pocket. It does fit right in here. But had I thought about it, I probably would have made this pocket smaller. I would have made this smaller, or I would have just moved these over to the right-hand side. But I think it's going to work out okay. And I believe that was the only ones that I was worried about, just those 3 pages. And I also want to mention that I did make this rather large only so that it would fit our wedding size magazines, because I wanted to use this fabulous magazine holder that Michelle created. But even though I did that, it doesn't mean that you can't take all of the dimensions that I've provided and shrink those down to make it more of an 8.5 by 11 or a 9 by 11, whatever size fits your needs best. All of these different elements, different design ideas, you can take these and translate them into other projects or into different sizes. Don't be stifled with just what I've provided for you. Use these as jumping off points to create what works for you. So with that said, what I'm going to do is go ahead and punch my holes and add my binder rings. I'm going to do that off screen because that's going to take a lot of time to do that. And I want to be able to see over the project. So I can't really do that when I'm filming. So I'll come back once it's all together because I was thinking about adding some decorative elements to the binder rings just to zhuzh it up a little bit and make it fun. I mean, the wedding planner itself is a fun element. It's going to be carried everywhere during this time, and a lot of things are going to go in and out of it. So you want to make it to where it's accessible and easy for individuals using it to put things in and take things out. So I'm going to go ahead and punch my holes and then I'll be back. So I am back and I have everything bound into my binder rings and it fits in there really nicely. This is a bit of a weighty type of memory planner, but I still think it's, it's not so heavy that you can't carry it around. I probably should have made a prototype, but that would have just taken me so much longer. So I do hope that you all have enjoyed this series and will give this a try, even if you split up the memory planning from the actual planner part. I still think this is a great design for a wedding planner. And I have really enjoyed creating it for you. I did want to come back and let you know that I cut down these tags by 1/8 of an inch on all of them so that there was a little more space in between the top of the tag and the holes for the binding. So I did that here and then on the groomsman page as well. I did not have to cut down anything else. This worked out okay. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way that this turned out. I think it can hold a lot of information as well as memories, which is what the goal was. Now, when I created this and punched my holes, I did create myself some guides, and I will provide these numbers in the tutorial project sheet. So I had one for the covers, one for the dividers, and one for the pages. And this just helped me line up where I needed to punch the holes. And then I just used the big mouth to do that. So I wanted to let you all know that. Now for the binder rings, I don't mind them. However, I was thinking about adding some tassels on them and have them hanging down. I thought that would be fun. But then I also thought, what if I made a covering for the binder rings? So that's what I ended up doing. I took some lace and I measured it out twice. So I did 2 lengths, 1, 2. I folded it over. I then went and sewed the end 1/4 of an inch across so that it made like a little tunnel there. And then I measured out where the rest of my binder rings were. And then sewed on each side of where the binder ring is. Now, I did not have the binder rings in the lace at the time. I took the lace and laid it across all of the rings and then took some straight pins and marked the place where I should be sewing for each of the binder rings. So you're doing each side of the binder ring for the middle and the top, but the bottom where you fold over the lace, you're only going to do it in one spot, which made it really nice and easy, quite frankly. And I then just, opened up the binder ring and then threaded on the lace. And I really like this. What's nice about it is it moves along the rings. It keeps the binder rings sturdy and not so floppy. I know a lot of people don't like binder rings because they think it flops around a lot, but this keeps them a little bit sturdier and they move quite easy when you open up your cover. As you see here, it just folds on down to the other part of the binder ring, so you actually have this pretty lace peeking through as you go through the planner. So I am really liking how that worked out. You can put it just up on the side, or I had it up here just so that you could all see what I had done. So that was in place of doing little dangles from the binder rings. Another element that I did was add some of these adorable little flourishes for the corner. I found an element in Cricut Design Space and I used that and then created an offset so that I could layer it on black cardstock. So I put that in each of the 4 corners. And I really like how that kind of pops out the image. I just love this image so much. I really didn't want to cover it. So I added these so that it would pull in this lace color, the kind of creamy white, which I think it really did. And then as I was still looking at this, one of the things that kept coming to my mind was that I would love just a silhouette of the bride and groom on the front cover. So what I did was I found another image in Cricut Design Space and I cut that out. And so this is the image that I think I'm going to stick on here. Now, because I don't really know what I'm going to do with this wedding planner, I don't know if my niece or my nephew might use this. Not to put any pressure on them. But I wanted to leave this kind of off so that whoever does get it can have the option of putting a silhouette on or not, in case they might want a different type of silhouette on the front cover. Now I cut this one out in black glitter cardstock, and I must say I'm not crazy about that look. I actually preferred having the flat black matte cardstock, and this is the black artisan cardstock from Country Craft Creations. I just love that cardstock, and I just think this is so beautiful. It makes everything pop, and I just love it. So this is the cover. As I say, I'm going to probably put this on temporarily until I know exactly what I'm doing with the planner. But I just love that look. So those are the things that I've done while I was off screen, and that concludes this Wedding Memory Planner mini-series. I do hope that you all have enjoyed this and will leave me your thoughts down in the comments below. Maybe a like button, and if you're not following along, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks a lot, everyone, and I'll see you next time.